All right. I think we're live. Give me a minute here to make sure that this is going. Ladies and gents, welcome back. Yeah, it seems to be going good. Quite a few of you guys already in the chat, hanging out. Everybody say hello. While we wait for some more people to jump in here. I think the notification's gonna go out just now. So just having a look through essentially a lot of the stories that I was not able to cover through the course of the week, which is a lot, absolutely a lot. I mean, so if you knew what I did in a day, so I wake up in the morning at like 4 a.m., get as much out there as I can in the morning. So it's like lots of research, lots of all this stuff, put out a couple of videos, and then chug a coffee and stuff some food in my mouth, get to work and go wrench for the day. Mods and fellow chatters, yeah. Hey, what's happening? So lots of stuff that I wasn't able to cover throughout the course of the week, and I'd like to go over a little bit of this stuff with you guys. Keep things rolling. Last week's live stream got really crazy. Couldn't believe how many of you guys came out. It was really insane. So maybe I can keep better track of what's happening in the chat, because holy cow, that chat got nutty really quick. Anyhow, I just wanted to look at some of these stories. One of these, maybe everybody's heard about it, but this was something that came up, and that was the RCMP leaked messages. And I didn't have time to put this story together. And well, basically Rebel News covered it quite well. I don't know what their reach is, because I'm sure there's a lot of like, I saw what Justin Trudeau said to the one reporter from the Rebel News, and that wasn't too good. So I think they probably on the hit list from YouTube. I think I might be on the hit list from YouTube. I've noticed a lot more of my videos are getting the limited status, and thank you guys all for sharing those out as much as you can, especially when they get limited. Now, what happens when a video gets limited actually is that it's not so much about the monetization, because if the video goes out, like I make like a bunch of videos in a day, some won't, some will be fine and they'll get out lots. But if one gets limited, what'll happen is YouTube won't share it out to as many people. So I'm still in the process of learning what all the key words are. So one video I said the bad guys from WW2 word several times in the video, and so I think that's why that one got limited. There's a few other ones. I'm not sure. I did that short one about Freeland this morning, and that one got limited. I thought it was funny because I just put it together in like 10 seconds, and I didn't actually say any of the bad words, but I don't know what happened there. And yeah, I did do one story on Russia and Ukraine in the beginning of the week. I had some people say, "Oh, well, you turned into a Russian bot now," and so immediately my position there is neutral. Like I've got no skin in the game when it comes to Ukraine. I really, for the most part, I'm just against war. I don't like the concept of war. I don't like the idea of sending people's children over to fight something that you've drummed up. Now, that being said, my first inclination was to take the same people that have been lying to us for 2 weeks and look into what they had to say. And look at it with a little bit of scrutiny. So if anyone says like I'm biased one way or the other, I'm not. I don't really. I don't have an opinion. I'm against corruption, and I'm against people being forced into crappy situations. So that's that essentially. But here we are, and the main story that I want to talk about is and I'm pretty passionate about it, and that's the trucker convoys, because I mean it's not just truckers anymore. It turned into like a blue collar revolution type movement, and that's what I found really fascinating about it. And especially because, you know, these people are the kind of people I grew up around, and like some of them literally are the people I grew up around, you know what I mean? And to see them make a move, and especially one that I'm behind, I couldn't help but say something about it and get in there and show my support. And then to see the media so horribly go after these people, like good people, and have the media just run their smears. And I mean, I've been paying attention to media and how they behave for a good amount of time, and yeah, it's awful. So to see people that are close and dear to my heart be treated that way by the media and by the politicians in our country, it was yeah, on terrible. Yeah, that's right. It is on terrible. That's why I left. I grew up in Windsor, and I left on terrible to go live in the beautiful British Columbia. Anyway, getting back to the story that I was referring to, leaked RCMP messages. This is one that Rebel News covered that I didn't get around to getting to. And for anyone who hasn't heard about this, these these were correspondence messages that the RCMP officers that were deployed in Ottawa to deal with the protest in my opinion, the most absurd way. They were posting images of themselves and sharing them. I'm not sure what app they were using, whatever, some group text anyway. And they were sharing these images of each other having a great time in these hotel rooms and stuff, but then sharing images of what was happening on the ground and saying some really disgusting things. Cheers, crew. Here's to some sweet OT this weekend for our on-call members. Don't kick off all of them until next week's group gets a turn. Yeah. So they were saying some really bad stuff. So they're just lounging around on the tax dollars. And it got really disgusting when they started commenting about the woman who had been trampled by a horse. So there was that there was a video that they shared amongst each other. It was a bird's eye view of the trampling, and one of them said, "Wow," and the one guy replies, "That's awesome." And another guy says, "We only think we're living the dream." So, yeah, this was met by some obvious backlash immediately, and the Ottawa police and the RCMP, they jumped out immediately on social media saying this is not representative of our organization, but they didn't go into any punishment or anything that they did to these people. Yeah, I've seen a lot of the ACAB stuff going around. I don't really like to do that because I don't like to generalize, but there are a lot of the bad ones that were in that group. It's like it's almost like they knew how to recruit the worst of the worst to go to Ottawa on that exact weekend. Now, what I heard though, and I couldn't verify this because I heard about this through an inside source that that word was in the force that a large number of people had either resigned or had requested vacation time at that time, or took leaves of absence, called in sick, what have you. But I was not able to verify that. There was no way for me to do that. But yeah, that was definitely a thing. Yeah, the ACAB thing, I don't know if I can get behind that because I don't think all of them are. Unfortunately, a lot of the good ones did end up leaving though. A lot of the good ones. Yeah, that's the thing. Thank you, mods, I'm seeing in the chat. Bro, they didn't send out your notifications. Yeah, that's sad. That's sad that the notifications didn't get sent out because, well, and that's a thing that I've been going through in the latter part of this week was a lot of the MCAB, I see, most. The latter part of this week, a lot of my videos got limited, and so they got pushed out to a lot less people. Now, that may be the fact that a lot of people are paying attention to the Ukraine situation now and not paying attention to what's going on this channel. So there could be a mix. It could be a mix of those things as well, right? Clyde is doing something. That's right. So funny story. I was doing live streams with a friend of mine, and we'd be going back and forth, and people, I would always end up doing the majority of the stuff in our streams, and it became a joke. It was like the sarcastic thing. Hey, Clyde, why don't you do something? So, and when I renamed this channel, I named it Clyde Do Something because I thought it was funny, and plus I was looking for something to do, and here I am doing something. That's what ended up happening. I had a few people asking about the symbol on my hat, and interesting. This is really funny. So this is a Chinese character. I used to live in Japan. For those that didn't know that, if you look at old videos on my channel, there's videos of me visiting Japan. My wife's Japanese, and we visit there quite a bit. Anyway, the symbol on my hat is the Chinese character for meat, and it's from an old, really old character and comic book and toy series called Kinnikuman, and Kinniku means it means muscle, so muscle man, and on his forehead was the kanji for niku. So Kinniku being muscle, and then Niku is just meat. So he's a meathead wrestler guy, and it was really cool. Last time I was there, they had a shop that was dedicated to that guy, that character, and I found this hat, and I thought it was amazing. So if you hit the symbol, I'm beating you. Yeah, okay, man. That's ruthless in the chat, folks. Hello from Alberta. Nice. Hello, Alberta. So yeah, stories. Sorry, stories. Getting to the stories. It's been a long work week, and yeah. I mean, I'm just gonna make excuses, aren't I? This video was shared in our Discord, and I couldn't help but share it here.
Hey, you remember that one time that the government told a bunch of people to take an experimental drug, and a bunch of people did, and then it didn't work, and so the government said, well, you need to do it again, and they did it again, and then the government said, you know what, it's not working because other people aren't joining the experiment, and so take it a third time. And they took it a fucking third time, and then they started getting mad at the people who didn't fall for that fucking shit. Hey, you remember that? Yeah. Uh, Tuesday was pretty fun.
Yeah, Tuesday was pretty fun. That pretty much sums it up right there. That we all had a great time. A lot of people turned out, and that was Tuesday was pretty fun. I'm not sure where it's gonna get picked back up, but I know it's not over. I think a lot of people are they're regrouping, trying to figure out what's going on. Yeah, hold my beer. Yellow little ducky. I wrote to the government general for PM's resignation. Info at gg.ca. You can write sending a vote of non-confidence against PM. Where is Mary Simon? Thank you, Clyde. Okay. I keep seeing that. One go around. I see a lot of different petitions go up. I've signed up for a few of the petitions. I'm always wary with some of these online, hey, can we get your name and all that stuff? I'm pretty weary with doing that too much, if you know what I mean. Or just being very careful on the different things. Some more of the ridiculousness from the week. I like to have a laugh, so let's share some of these other just what situations.
How much vitriol do we have to see of honk honk, which is an acronym for Hail Hitler, do we need to see by these protesters on social media? How many times honk honk, which is an acronym for Hail Hitler, do we need to
you can't make this stuff up, folks. You really can't. You can't make it up. Like, no joke. I bet you this one was a real sweetheart in high school. Like, she was just probably like, nah. I'm just thinking back in my times of being in school, like the types, when you grow up and then you end up having to deal with people in the real world, you deal with the kind of people that you normally would probably get along with. But I remember my days in high school, and every time I look at Parliament, I just remember the worst people in my high school. And this woman is the epitome of that. And just like, I have a hard time. I have a really, really hard time with the way people in Parliament speak. Like politicians in Canada. I know politicians in the US, we see it all the time, and it's frustrating too. But just the stuff that they say, the stuff that comes out of their mouth. And it's, you would think, wow, that's absurd. Nobody in their right mind thinks that. But this woman.
How much vitriol do we have to see of honk honk, which is an acronym for Hail Hitler?
Says who? Like, it's so absurd. It is the most absurd thing I've ever come. Like, she probably came up with that late at night. She's at home with her 5 cats. Because nobody wants to be with this woman, really. And she's sitting there she's on her 4th bottle of red wine, and she's like, I got it. You know what's going to embarrass those people? I'm going to say that honk honk is an acronym for some. Like, honk honk is not an acronym for one lady. Honk honk is a 4-letter word. An acronym would be a lot more. So honk honk is it's a dog whistle. I guess you're trying to get at. It's so absurd. It just blows my mind. And yet she's got a straight face with that one. You rep who, right? I just when I saw that, it blew me away. It blew me away at the stuff that people say. I mean, what we're used to seeing in Parliament, right, is we're used to seeing person come in and they give an objective question, right? I'd like for, and you got to speak in this passive aggressive way through the speaker, right? You're not allowed to talk to the person directly. So, Mr. Speaker, I'd like this guy to answer to you why he's doing that. And then the other person gets up, and instead of saying, yeah, so the answer, Mr. Speaker, to that question, they get up and they just talk about something else entirely. Like they're required to say something, but they'll get up and they just say anything. Words. It's just word salad. And like the worst kind of word salad. Like it's the it's a Caesar without anchovies. It's horrible. Absolutely. It drives me up the wall, and I have no idea how these people... The reason why these people have their job in Parliament is because Canadians have been not paying attention for way too long. We have not been paying attention to what these people do and what they actually are required to do. It's absurd. It's clown world. I can't believe this is the world we're living in. I would have respect for her more with a duck mask on. There you go. You got Mud with the super chat. Planning on keeping up with the independent reporting even if liberals are booted out of office. Love the videos. Grab a beer on me. Thank you so much, man. Yeah, I plan on keeping this up. I plan on keeping this up. A lot of people have subscribed to the channel over the past 2-3 weeks. Crazy. So, yeah, I'm going to keep this up. I'm going to keep digging into stuff. But I'm also going to be covering the U.S. Convoy as that rolls along. So some people aren't aware, I'm a dual citizen. So I've grown up in Canada. I've always lived in Canada, except for a few years that I lived in Japan. But I'm a dual citizen, so I do have a bit of a vested interest in what happens in America too. I think we all should have that vested, interest in that as well, because, well, let's face it, what happens to America happens to Canada. It's that's pretty straightforward. And what happens to Canada might eventually trickle into America, and I think that's why Americans have been following this so closely. Unanimous Gamer says, "Hey Clyde, check out Freedom Tunes' latest video on it." I saw a post of Freedom Tunes. I don't think I can share that. I can show the news and stuff on here and give conjecture, but Freedom Tunes, if I show their content, it's kind of well, it's not really a conjecture. It's not really. It doesn't fall under fair use, I don't think. Because it would just be me watching it and enjoying it here. So I'll definitely check it out after the stream. Check out Rick DeSantis 2022 CPAC speech. Full video on that. Mad loons running the place. Yeah, I'd like to check that out. Post that in the Discord. Because I know links in the Discord is the best place for that. There's a trucker rally tomorrow scheduled in Ottawa. FYI, getting the details now. Yeah, I guess that's breaking news for me. I'll be covering that in the morning, that's for sure. If there's a rally scheduled for Ottawa tomorrow, that'd be great to see. I'd definitely welcome back. It would be one of those. Amazing. But yeah, definitely go into the Discord, and you can leave all kinds of links in there for everybody. Everybody's sharing links and sharing info. It's a really cool place to hang out. What part of Canada am I in? I'm in British Columbia, beautiful British Columbia. I'm not gonna I'm not going to give you my address, but I'll tell you that. I'm on the coast. Let's just put it that way. Where was I? Little Lost Sheep Music. Thanks for the super chat. 20 Canadian bucks. The colorful money. Love me some Canadian bucks. Thank you very much. And thank you guys all for the support over the past few weeks. I've been just trying to get as much information out there, and you guys have been fantastic with sharing it and showing some people. Now, another thing, because I was talking about restrictions and stuff. So there was a few channels that there was a rumor going around about people being contacted by the government to take down videos. I don't know how much truth there is to that. I know I wasn't contacted personally. Nobody's contacted me to tell me to take down any videos. And if they did, I'd probably just consult a lawyer. Because as far as I'm aware, even though they've been trampling on all of our charter rights, that's one I'm definitely going to be sticking up for. I'll put my foot down on that one. Post your link in the Discord to the animated Freedom Tune. Yeah, I'll check that one out later. Appreciate that. Yeah, I don't think I can share that one on the stream. But yeah, so I was sharing this morning. I've been trying to add this to the end of my videos. Is that the People's Convoy, they're calling it now. The one in the States. I like that. I like the sound of that. The People's Convoy. It's I think it's a little more inclusive. Not that the Freedom Convoy isn't inclusive, but I think it's good. It's got a very good American feel to it, to the sound of it. You know, we the people. So I'm looking forward to seeing what happens here. And as far as I know, the plans sounds Chinese. Get out of here. That's the People's Republic, I suppose. Fair enough. No, it looks good. From as far as I'm aware, and I correct me if I'm wrong on this, but the claim is that they're not going to go right to the Capitol. Like they're going to go into DC, but not Washington DC proper, because they don't want to have like a January 6th type thing go on, or any sort of false flag, or agent provocateurs coming in and sabotaging things. So correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm seeing in the chat, yes, you are correct, right on the button. So yeah, and that's the thing. You fight power, and you try to voice your opinion, and that's how these things get squashed. You know, with agent provocateurs and things like that, to upset the whole setup, get people to act violently, or the perception to be that they're acting violently, and then you can squash it. What the Canadian truckers pulled off was amazing. And everyone else that joined in that protest, they came in and they refused to take the bait. So to my American brothers and sisters in this convoy, just don't take the bait. Don't take the bait. If they smack you around, take it. Take it. It sucks. I know. It hurts the pride, but it's don't take the bait. Don't take it. Because I mean, it would be a completely different story reporting on if that was the case. You know, if the Canadian truckers were to have gotten rowdy, and as people got in their faces, if fights would have broken out, it would have been a completely different story. But, you know, sorry, my voice. Over the course of 3 weeks in Ottawa, These guys, they followed all the rules. You know, the only thing that they did that was illegal was illegally parking for 3 weeks straight, right? They went in, there was an injunction to get them to stop honking their horns. And what do? They obeyed the junction. They obeyed the order to not honk their horns. You know, everything they came and they did, they were just clever about it. So I'm praying and hoping that our American brothers and sisters can do the same. And you know, that's why Trudeau came in with that heavy hand and said, oh, you should try and get on Zot live right now. He's doing interviews from viewers. He's a good live streamer in Ottawa, in the Ottawa protest. Yeah. If I ever had an opportunity to have some of those guys on here, I would definitely pull them in and have a chat. But yeah, I love the Jericho walk. That was impressive. I saw that in Viva's stream. I think it was the day before all the cops showed up. They did the Jericho walk where they walked around the block. It was around the block 7 times, I believe it was, and then they would all honk their horns. This was after the injunction was done. 10 days they abided by the injunction. Nobody broke the rules. And the injunction for was a whole list of things that they wanted. However, they only got the honk. Oh, that's right. So this, I'm trying to cover as much as I can of these stories, trying to put out like 2-3 videos a day. And yeah, some of it I just missed, you know, some of it just I couldn't cover. But yeah, one of the stories there was that the injunction that they had proposed to the judge was a ton of stuff, and the judge was like, "Nuh-uh, they're not breaking the law. You can't do this." And so the only thing they can get them for was not honking, and it was specifically train horns and air horns. They proceeded to not honk any horns, but it was specifically that. And what got me was we all saw that video. Let me try to pull this up. There was the video of the old man. Old man, Ottawa police. Of course. Yeah. There's the video. Let me pop this up. I have to put my headphones on so it's not blasting 2 things. So yeah, there was this case.
Who cares? They shouldn't live in the capital of Canada then. They better leave. Because until the mandates are ended, this is not going to stop. Stop harassing old men. You don't have to.
This isn't the whole video. Here, I'll grab the rest of the video there. When you go into shorts, for some reason, it won't let you adjust the volume, which is pretty annoying. Has this video been scrubbed from YouTube, except for that? Old man, Ottawa police honking. Honking horn.
What did he do?
Ah, yeah, there we go. So this was egregious. Like, essentially. Oh, I missed the super chat. 1 second. What should we do about the tech government collusion? My concern is censorship of videos that expose the corruption will be gone, and the people will believe the media. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be like a Tiananmen Square type thing, won't it? Where you're not allowed to talk about it, can't share anything about it. I'm not saying that it's like Tiananmen Square, because obviously a lot of people were gunned down in Tiananmen Square, but the comparison there is the media blackout and the government being behind that entirely. Thanks for the super chat though, Ryan Wilson. But yeah, in this particular case, so they passed the injunction, and then this guy. Now that was. So I mean, if I was this guy's superior, I'd be a little peeved at his choice of words with the public that are just concerned about what's going on.
None of your fucking concern, man.
None of your effing concern, man. Like, come on, a little professional behavior here, man. Okay, so I'll let this play in the background quietly. What ended up happening in this situation was this guy honked as he was passing a truck that had a bunch of signs from the convoy, right? And then the police go and they pull him over and immediately start being rude to him. So the guy gets rude right back, right? And like, honestly, if you get pulled over by the police, don't be rude right back, even if they are being rude. I mean, that's my advice, because it usually doesn't end well if that's the case. But here's the thing that really got me here was the injunction. It's in the injunction. I need to find the injunction. Ruthless, do me a favor. Find the paper that is the injunction, the actual injunction paperwork, and post it. DM it to me in Discord. I'll pull it up here. But the injunction itself was only to people who were aware of the injunction, right? And the police, there's a procedure for proving that, right? So if you are caught not abiding by the injunction from Kenny, no, the injunction from Ottawa on honking. Oh, maybe it's too late. Either way, if anybody doesn't believe me and they need the proof, I'll provide it. But the injunction basically said, if for anyone aware of the injunction. So if they wanted to uphold the injunction, they would have to make a detention, like detain somebody. Do we have it here? This is court injunction. Oh, the actual injunction paper. Is this on this page? I'm not seeing the link to it. Ruthless. So the court injunction. CBC's journalistic standards and practices. I kind of want to look at that. Report a typo or error. Your whole article's a typo. No, got to be a little bit more. Corrections and clarifications. I'm always interested in how this stuff, the back end works. Oh, just discovering all this stuff. February 15th, 2022. CBC News corrected this story. Published on 15th. Registration of Peter Slowly as Ottawa's police chief. Resignation. Previous version mischaracterized a Globe and Mail report about Slowly. Yeah, see, you gotta pay attention to this stuff, because this is the Winston part. When I say Winston, I'm talking about 1984. If none of you have ever read the book 1984 by George Orwell, I suggest you go read it. Get on it immediately. Yeah, CBC has standards, correct, right? So in the story, I thought his name was Winston. Winston was the main protagonist. Smith and Winston. So yeah, it was the main character. He worked for the Ministry of Truth and worked for INGSOC. It's Winston. Okay. And his job was to go through the newspapers and correct the record to what the party believed at the moment. So he'd have to go in and take the papers, cut them out, and resplice them and put them back in the record so that it showed that they always viewed it the way that they view it today. And then that was kind of how it went. Haven't found the actual paperwork yet. Sorry. No, it's okay. It's okay. So anyway, in the injunction, in that court-ordered injunction, you weren't allowed to honk, but you'd have to be aware of the fact that you that there was an injunction, right? Because you can't just... Okay, so ignorance of the law is not an excuse, right? But it is for an injunction that lasts 10 days. That's the thing, right? So if you were to be detained for that, you would have to then, they would have to have you sign paperwork acknowledging the injunction. And then if you broke the injunction again, then they can press charges. Then they can go after you. And that's what is written in the injunction. It's actually spelled out in the court-ordered injunction. But yeah, they tried really hard to get a lot of other things put on that injunction. And then immediately, their first thing they do is they take it out on some old guy that just honks passing by. And like, get a grip, boys. Get a grip. For real? Like, seriously. I get you're frustrated, but you're not a tough guy taking it out on a dude that's half your size, literally. Like, look at the size of this man. Oh my God. You don't seem like a tough guy. You seem like a weak man when that's what you're doing. Anyway, I digress. I see, this is what happens. I go off on tangents. And this is how a lot of the stories that I put together end up becoming stories that go into videos. Is I'll find a bunch of stuff. I'll go down a rabbit hole and I'll find facts along the actual lines of the story, and then build the story up from there. Now, where were we? I wanted to get into a bit of what I was talking about today, and today in my video, which I won against YouTube. They tried to put restrictions on the video, but I ended up getting it out there. I got it out there. So they made it limited based on algorithm, and I fought it with the there's a system where you can get your video manually reviewed, and they checked it, but then they put a conspiracy thing header on it, and yeah, that was interesting. That was the first time I ever had that on a video of mine, and I've been making videos for years on YouTube, so that was interesting. But I made sure to not get into tinfoil hat land with it. I literally went with the facts, and the fact of the matter is that yeah, Jason Kenney was talking about it. So here he was.
Politicians fly into Davos, men with hundreds of private airplanes. They go into Switzerland, and they spend a week basically lecturing the rest of the world, including especially working women and men, about how they should reduce their carbon footprint. The hypocrisy in that crowd is so thick you can't even cut it with a knife. And so, no, I'm not going to be.
I like the way this guy talks. I mean, cause you can tell he's from like blue collar towns. So he talks. It's funny. He's trying to play the politician game, but he definitely, you can tell where he comes from.
Taken any policy direction from Klaus Schwab or his ilk. And what I find offensive, look, the so-called Great Reset is not a conspiracy theory. It is an actual set of concrete proposals being advocated by some very influential people, and including apparently by Prime Minister Trudeau, who clearly alluded to it, referred to it, quoted from it, the Schwab theory, in a speech he gave to the United Nations a couple of months ago. So it's not a conspiracy theory to talk about that. Those are the folks advocating it. And I think it's perfectly legitimate for democratically elected leaders, for me to say, heck no, we're not going to exploit or take advantage of a crisis to advance a political agenda.
So Canadian saying, isn't he on the WEF website? I'm not sure if he is. What he did say earlier in this video, if you watch the video in its entirety, he talks about how Schwab sent him a book. I think this might be one of those things where you get into you get voted in as an MP or something, or you become a premier of a province, and Schwab, he tries to Schwab you. You don't want to get Schwabbed. Sorry. Yeah, you don't want to get Schwabbed. You never know where that's been. Anyway, so yeah, he mentions basically that the guy sent him his book. Yeah, don't get your Schwab on me. Oh my god, that's too funny. Oh my god, just me laughing at that. That's a video of its own. Anyway, yeah. So apparently he got into office and he had a care package, got Schwabbed with a copy of this, and it's on Amazon. It's not like some secret thing. You don't have to be like a member. You don't have to do the secret handshake. It's not. Yeah, it's so funny. New Schwabenland. Oh, that got me into a laughing fit. My bad. Sorry, guys. It was just too funny. But yeah, so he wrote this book, and then this is his like instruction manual on how to get. I might even do a live stream just going through the book. That'd be probably a fun one, because I got a PDF version of it, and basically it only takes 2 people to make a conspiracy. That is true. It's funny because and then he wrote this book, The Great Narrative for a Better Future. And I want to go over the book because I want to read it. I've gone over like some of the theory for the World Economic Forum. Like I'm a serious dork when it comes to like economic theory. I like economic theory. I'm a dork, right? It is what it is. Like I read Human Action by Ludwig von Mises and I enjoyed that book. It might be the tism in me, right? But that's just the thing. So I've heard this theory of the Schwab the Schwab theory, and what he talks about is a thing called what does he call it? So it's the fourth industrial revolution is supposed to be the new revolution because AI and automation. Like whoop-de-doo, you didn't make that up. Okay, we're going to be going through a different a huge economic boon because of it. Sure, that's fine. But what he comes forward with is this idea of what does he call it? Stakeholder capitalism. And it's not clever. I'm not gonna lie, it's not clever. But like when you're a rich dude and you have a club of rich dudes, and people are clamoring to be part of your club, and if you're not part of the club, you don't get a seat at the table and all that stuff. People will tell you that your stupid idea is good. I mean, that's so it's the way of the world, my man. Like I've been in circles of like people, well-to-do people. Like, don't get me wrong, I've met some people in my lifetime, and the just the sheer amount of yes men that follow him around all the time are just it's too good. It's too funny. Because yeah, you say the dumbest thing ever and they'll just, whoa, you're blown away. The greatest idea I've ever heard of my life. Clyde, 1 second. The UN flag with a snake through the middle of it. I haven't seen that. I don't know what that flag is. Is that the Schwab? Sorry, it cracks me up. Anyway, stakeholder capitalism is not a new idea. It's not a new idea. It's not far off from like Mussolini's vision of a state technocracy where you have corporations run by the state, essentially, where you have like the essence of capitalism. You have enough freedom for people in the market to like establish wealth, because you wouldn't get that without the market economy. But then you have the state always there that can usurp that. It actually creates regime uncertainty. And it's kind of like the communist model where they'll always say like, well, it would have worked if the whole world went for it. And they're like, no, it just would have been horrible for the whole world, man. Like, and yeah, that's this technocracy. And it's the idea that you're just going to, by decree, change the capitalist, the corporate model to, and you're not changing capitalism. You're trying to just change the corporate model, essentially. Because the corporations are a legal entity that's like it's not a capital thing. That came out later. That's not market economy. That's just people limiting liability through state function. I don't necessarily agree with everything in the corporate legal structure, but that's oh my god, yeah. Don't get schwabbed. You never know where that thing's been. That's basically I think that's the takeaway for the night right there. But yeah, yes man will make stupid ideas seem really fun and great. But yeah, so like you've seen rich neighborhoods, they got a golf course and everyone's got to be a member of that golf course. Well, if you're a world leader, everyone's got to be a member of this stupid club that no working class people agree with. But kudos to Kenny for calling it out. But that doesn't mean that they're not going to go ahead with some of these plans. And I think all of it's going to fail, right? Like if they put these ideas through, they're all going to fail. And it has to do with just economics, sheer economics. But the thing is, after a while, people will realize that their lives are getting worse over this, and they'll revolt, and they won't be down for it anymore. And the time, even if they're successful in bringing this in, the time that people will be able to reverse it is when even the police don't care about enforcing the rules. And it has a lot to do with like why a lot of the Soviet states, like their satellite states, failed and didn't go along with things. Because I think that, didn't they have an expression back in those days that they pretend to regulate us, we pretend to be regulated. Like, people just move on. I think that's just kind of the way it is. I'm trying to I'm having a problem to do that. Is there a website that I can contact from? I've tried to join Discord and I'm not successful. Oh, that's weird. That's weird that you can't join the Discord. Go on Twitter. I'm on Twitter. You can find me on. People have been sending me Instagram messages. I've been getting back to people. I've been actually getting information as well. You guys are great. Like, you guys have been a wealth of information. It's just fantastic, the amount of information. Putin is Russia. Trump and Russia hates wokeness and Nazis. The world. Oh, I said the word. I said that's the bad guy from WW2 word. Don't make me say those words, chat. Come on. Second protester that got trampled by the horses. I don't know. I don't know if any word got out about that second protester. I didn't hear anything. I assume that person got up, because I think that's what people were saying. But if that's not true, I'd like to know, because I want to report on that. Yeah, just not a lot of people. Nobody mentioned that. I haven't heard anything about that. I saw a picture though. So there was a picture. Let me see if I can't find it really quick. I think I'll look on Twitter. Twitter seems to be the place. Ottawa horse trample. I got to be careful. I can't show you guys Twitter until I verify a picture, because sometimes there'll be stuff that's well, like nudity and stuff. Oh wow. Okay, so I'll tell you something. It was really difficult to find any information on the woman who was trampled by the horse, but we've got Rebel News, I guess, finally got some information here. So we've got...
I got bruising on I got sore ribs. Doesn't look like I'll be driving anytime soon. I'm still alive. I'm still here. Thank you to everyone out there. I'm okay. Bumped and bruised and sore, but I live to stand another day.
Ottawa police specify on their page that nobody yesterday have been injured. What do you have to reply to the Ottawa police?
That's bullshit. Where did that other guy go? The other guy that really got stompled by the horses. Where did he go? I had the sense to get up on my own accord, but where did that guy go? Nobody has found that. Where did that guy go?
When we know that Justin Trudeau say that so much good thing about the First Nation, but when we look at what the people live, as you yesterday being treated like that, what is your thought?
How can we have trust in a prime minister that doesn't come and speak to the people? Yep.
Yeah, I dropped the ball on that one. I'm gonna have to do some tearing into this, find out what happened there. Now, what I do know is that there's a picture out there of that guy, or what people think is that guy. So when I covered that story of her being okay, what was really difficult was everywhere in the media was only this picture. And when you see that, that tells me lazy reporters, right? Nobody's going to verify anything. They're just like, oh, that guy's running a story. Yoink, grab the picture, post it, copy, paste the whole article, change a couple of words around. Now it's my article, right? Like that's reporting in the news media these days. So when I see that, I just assume that it's BS. So, and I have to do some more digging, or it's BS, or it's true, but is it all true? So at first I was like, I can't even confirm that this is the woman. I can't confirm that if this is the woman, that it's the picture was taken when it was supposed to be taken. So I had to do a bunch of digging, and I found just the amount of evidence that I had for the video that I put out to verify that she was okay, right? And that was earlier in the week. I see that now the Rebel tracked her down, found out who she was, and got an interview. So that's amazing. That's amazing. I'm glad that she's okay. But yeah, finding out about what happened to the other guy is definitely a different story. Now, if I can find the picture, because there's people posting pictures. Maybe it was in my DMs. I think somebody in the DMs. Bear with me here. Oops. Back. I gotta find that picture, because a lot of people are using that picture as a thing. Ah, yeah, here we go. Oh, wait, what? Hold on. Okay, image in a new tab, image in a new tab. Okay, so here we are, where we have the guy in the brown jacket and then the woman, right? And then people are showing this picture. Like, there's the guy laying there after it all was said and done. But this isn't the same incident. This isn't the same group of people. It's not the same at all. Because, I mean, just look at the ground. It's all covered in snow here. And then this image, it's all bare asphalt. So, yeah, it's not the same. As for what happened to that guy, I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know if he's okay. I don't know if he got hurt. I'm gonna have to do more digging. More digging. Because, yeah, I'd like to find that out. For sure. Interesting aspect. Here's the, hold on, let me get this tweet here. So this is what I saw. See, not even the same man. So these are the two different situations. Okay, Chris is gonna help me dig on that one. By the way, go check out Chris's channel. He's been covering this stuff too. His name in the chat is Ruthless. He's my moderator. He's got a channel and he's been covering all these events as well. So just if you've never done that before, there's 3 little dots if you hover over his name to the side on the chat, and it'll allow you to go to his channel and then go give a subscribe. Check out that. Clyde, look at the chat. I'm looking at the chat. What? Yeah, I'm looking at the chat. What do you want me to see? So yeah, this is the guy. So we'll have to no idea. But yeah, we'll do some digging on that. Find video Randy Hiller police violence and possible cover up. It could be the horse guy. Stuttering Bob's YouTube. Yeah, do me a favor and post that in the Discord. Get that in there. I'll check that out for sure. Yeah, because what I want to do is I want to cover a lot of the aftermath of what's gone on at the Ottawa protest. So it's kind of hard because there's a lot of stories, just like it's been for the past few weeks. There's a lot of stories that I want to cover, and I only have so much time in a day to do each of these stories. So I'll put together as much as I can. But yeah, dividing my attention up too much could be detrimental, and then I won't get stories just right. Some stories are quick and easy. I'll just discover something humorous or whatever and pop it out there. And I know a lot of people like those ones as well. But yeah, I'll definitely gonna look into that one. Some of the other things that I wanted to bring up today. So we got to see, yeah, this one. in today's video.
Is on the cusp of a revolutionary innovation that will transform the way Canadians authenticate themselves online and protect their identity. Digital ID. All of us are living in a digital world, but we're tethered to an analog model of how we identify ourselves, memorizing countless online passwords, carrying government-issued licenses, plastic cards, and more. Digital ID is a way for Canadians to identify themselves to government, businesses, and each other electronically, with ease and rock-solid security, without the need to present physical documents. One interconnected network. A federated digital ID ecosystem developed in collaboration with Canada's best and brightest talent from our banks, telecommunication companies, law enforcement, and government. It would have the power and security to store every Canadian's electronic identity and attributes. And it would unlock countless opportunities for Canadians to verify who they are safely, quickly, and securely, while only revealing the information necessary for each transaction. A fast, easy, and secure way to bank, sign up for government services, renew driver's licenses or health cards, shop, travel, and more. Canada's banks are perfectly situated to help lead the creation of a federated digital ID system between government and the private sector.
Is that what getting Schwabbed looks like? It looks like government private partner. I've always had a problem with this term, right? They call it, what do they call them? Public private partnerships, PPPs. And every time I hear that, I think of Mussolini. You know, fascism, a better way to explain it is it's a perfect merger between corporation and state. I mean, like, I can never get that one out of my head. That's definitely the thing. And more. Yeah, that's right. Wait a minute now, Ron. Now we're now having a special deal. for 3 easy installments of all your civil liberties, you can.
The World Economic Forum agrees that banks and financial institutions should lead the path forward for digital ID. Banks are highly regulated and trusted. They're
not trusted. That's why Justin had to rescind the emergencies order. They don't trust. Look at this. Facing financial peril and pending state rebuke, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau revokes Emergency War Measures Act. Yeah, because he's eroded faith in the Canadian financial industry.
Advanced cybersecurity and privacy technology.
Hey, New Mexico.
The infrastructure to
Welcome
operate
in.
provincially and nationally. Banks are also at the forefront of working with fintech startups who are bringing revolutionary mobile and online products and services to Canadians.
FinTrack, revolutionary mobile and online products and services. Basically, a social credit score app. That's what this is. It's absolutely ridiculous. Like, it's bold-faced. It's bold-faced. But the beauty of them alienating so many people is what happens is when you alienate a group of people, they immediately look at you with distrust. And what they've done is they've alienated the gears and the cogs of the nation, right? They've alienated the people that actually turn the mechanism that makes the machine work. The people that fix it. The lifeblood. You know, like, with the idea of decentralization has come the idea that elites are now the non-essential worker. That's what people need to realize. When we don't need banks and institutions like this to run our economy, because decentralization takes over that industry, and people can freely trade amongst each other despite all their efforts of controlling things. That's when real power shifts, and that's when the heavy hand comes out. That's when the heavy hand comes out. Clyde, read. It was reported immediately that the man died. again, I'm gonna look into this. I'm not gonna be able to figure this out in tonight's stream, unfortunately. But I'm reading what you're putting out there, so I'm gonna look into it, and I've got Chris on it as well. And Chris, who's ruthless in the chat, again, go check out his channel. He's been covering this as well, so definitely got to get on that. Until you hear about nanotubes and self-assembling nano networks in the human body, I don't know anything about all that stuff. All I know is that in China they have a technocracy, and the would-be dictators that are elected officials in our country envy it, and that's my fight. That's my fight. If people want to take nanobot fights, take nanobot fights. That's not my fight. My fight is against the social credits system. So I'm gonna I'm gonna keep fighting that one. So I got another clip that I found today that I wish I would have been able to include in the video. Let me pop this up. I just gotta find it real quick. This is this one's great. Oh, silent. Whoa, too loud. Sorry about that. This is the new product from Thales.
Meet Lucy, student in psychology, and me, her digital ID wallet issued by the government to offer a wide range of identity services.
I'm smart and intelligent.
I'm a handy way of proving and protecting her identity, both online and face-to-face.
Look at me looking after her.
Let's have a closer look at what I can do. I can help governments to better communicate with citizens.
Put the brakes on right there. What? I'm the government right in your pocket. You're not selling this thing to me. You've lost me. If this is a marketing ad, you've lost me right away. Papa Stanimus, what's happening, buddy? Welcome to the chat. Welcome here. You've lost me already. If you're saying we could bring government right into your back pocket.
Right now.
It gets better. It gets better. Check this.
Now, I'm reminding Lucy of the appointment she needs to schedule for her mandatory vaccination.
What? What? Can we hear that again? Can we hear that again? What?
Right now, I'm reminding Lucy of the appointment she needs to schedule for her mandatory vaccination.
I think this was I think they filmed this before the whole trucker rally and realizing how unpopular this idea is. Oh my. No, it's not a parody. No. I wish I could tell you that this is a joke. This is put on by like SNL or something. SNL's not funny anymore, by the way. It hasn't been since Mike Myers. But oh my god. Yeah, no, and it keeps going.
Time to go to her exam. Lucy is a bit stressed out. I'm here to make it easy for her to prove she is the right candidate, with a quick and secure connection between her phone and the examiner's.
How does that make her feel better? I'm sorry, but how do you feel at ease knowing that your phone is keeping track of you 24/7 with a direct feed to your government? Jeez.
Exam passed successfully. Quick stop at the doctor's before celebrating, and no time to lose. On the way, Lucy uses me to declare her passport lost.
Why are you on the way to the airport declaring your passport lost? Anyway, yeah, just, this is an advert for how awesome it would be if we had our social credit score, or social credit system. Of course, they're not advertising it as a social credit system. Of course. But, you know.
She needs it for her upcoming road trip. No issue. She can request an emergency digital passport without having to go to the authority office.
Her road trip that she's allowed to go on by the authorities. It's just, you can't make this up, folks. This is just insane. Insane. The only reason she's allowed to go on her thing is because of her mandatory vaccine that the app reminded her of.
I make official admin a lot smoother. And that's not all. I can also help Lucy request a birth certificate, pay her taxes, or prove who she is when onboarding to new services.
So that's important, right? Right there. You can get your birth certificate, taxes payment. You can pay your taxes through this app. Well, if you can pay your taxes, then they know your information, which means your money's tied to it, right?
New services, such as opening a bank account. I allow Lucy to certify her healthcare coverage entitlement. She's able to decide whether to authorize the doctor to access her medical records or not, ensuring her control over her personal data. Lucy needs one more thing before being all set for her trip to Australia, renting a car. I help her share her driver's license credentials online, so that she doesn't have to wait hours in a queue to collect the car when she gets to Brisbane. The rental company benefits from secure and accurate information, and Lucy from a smooth experience. Lucy's friends are waiting for her inside the bar. To allow her to get in, I simply generate a QR code that proves Lucy is old enough, so she doesn't have to share.
It proves that she's old enough and that she toes the state line. She'll carry water for the local politicians. I mean, if the fact that the Canadian government shut off people's bank accounts doesn't make you worried that this is their next step, yeah, I don't know what else will. And they punished people by shutting off their bank accounts for doing nothing other than having had their information leaked of their name and address, right? It wasn't even their name and address. It was their name, their email address, and the place that they lived. And they were turning people's bank accounts off based on that information for having donated to what is a legal nonprofit organization in the country because they don't agree with the political, or we don't agree on the same policy, government policy. If that's not scary, and this is what they're looking at. What am I looking at in the Discord? I'm trying to find the link. I didn't see it. I don't know what link. Someone will have to point it out to me. But then moving on.
You see,
this was on Joe Rogan. And if you guys haven't seen this interview on Joe Rogan with Majid Nawaz, you have to watch this. Watch it in its entirety.
Our teams are now embedded in governments around the world. That's actually what they wrote.
Yes.
And the video is 2 minutes. I didn't play all of it. It's what he says.
But what he's saying there sounds reasonable.
Yeah.
Figuring out on strategic ways to end the lockdown easily.
No,
that makes sense?
Not the end of lockdown. No.
Didn't he say that?
Yeah. Keep in mind, Tony Blair is the one who's been advocating for vaccine passports, digital identification through COVID, and all of these measures.
But didn't they say that about ending the lockdowns and keeping businesses?
Once those measures are in place. Right, so he's, even in the UK, his stance has been, yeah, we're going to get out of all it, but you have to have digital ID, and you have to have...
So during the war, this is going to introduce the social credit score system.
Right, so all of that came from your question, which is, regardless of intention, how do people do that infiltration from within? It's not just Twitter. So back to the psychological operations. It's also embedding people in government who are subscribed to this agenda. Yeah? And the agenda of Klaus Schwab and the World Economic Forum is the same as the agenda of Tony Blair in this regard. They call it on their own website, they call it the Great Reset. That's what they say themselves.
Yeah, that's a bizarre thing to do, to openly. Why do you think they openly discuss it that way? And openly, because the Great Reset has always been this gigantic conspiracy theory among the online folks. Like, this is all part of the Great Reset.
Well, that's
when
yeah,
he
that's
wrote
the
a
thing.
fucking book called The Great Reset. You're like,
yeah, he writes a book. It's not like you can walk that one back. The guy's like, oh no, here's my YouTube channel. Here's the website. Here's my book on my series of books on it on Amazon. Is that one of those pathetic conspiracy theories again? Yeah, right.
hey man, shouldn't you be hiding this?
And in 2017 at Harvard, he's saying, you know, we're going to basically, all of these world leaders will penetrate their cabinets with our young global leaders. He's open about this. He's open. Blair's open. During the Iraq War, Blair tried to bring in ID cards in Britain. He failed. Now he's back, and he's trying to bring in digital ID during COVID. Right? So they're open about it.
So this is going to be this never-ending process to slowly move the goalposts
towards more and more authoritarianism. Checkpoint society. It's all there. They told us this.
People have to realize this, right? This is important.
Yeah.
Yeah, people have to realize this. It is important. Because, yeah, I mean, that's the way it's going to go. Let's look at the super chats here. Dennis Platt is the name of the trucker who wasn't feeling well, died Monday. And there's a YouTube link. In comments, his daughter said he died a hero. Oh, that's very sad. Let me see if this link works. Sorry, I have to go over the content before I get into it. So this is Just Incredible TV reporting on the.
Hey, all you wonderful, beautiful people out there, how are you? First off, I want to thank everyone who grabbed their Friday post. I will have some more, sending them off a whole stack of envelopes. Awesome. That's how much I got a penny means, but I do appreciate those of you that
See, I try not to do this in my videos. I try to get right to the point. If I have any conjecture, I say at the end. just a tip for you, Just Incredible. Sorry, don't mean to be like that. I just want to hear the story.
Hamilton, Montana flags as well.
And the point of all of this is just freedom of choice.
Down to the potential trucker protest in Washington, D.C.
Oh, sorry,
as the city braces for an influx of truckers expected to arrive by the State of the Union. Our Chief Justice correspondent, Pierre Thomas, is tracking the latest developments. Good morning, Pierre.
Michael, good morning. There's word today that 3 convoys of truckers are headed here to D.C. to protest about vaccine mandates and other issues. After seeing those truckers block traffic on that bridge linking the U.S. to Canada.
Why am I on this video? Hold on. Am I on the wrong video? Oh, I accidentally hit the... No?
Those large-scale protests in Canada's capital of Ottawa, officials here in D.C. are taking no chances. As many as 700 National Guard could be deployed here in Washington. Residents here can also expect to see beefed up D.C. police patrols, potential traffic changes, and it's possible there could be fencing up back up around the U.S. Capitol.
And that's absolutely right. They are already putting up the fences around the
halfway
Capitol.
in. Okay, sorry.
Okay, let's see what happens. Those of you that follow more than YouTube, which should be all of you, by the way, because a lot of stuff is heavily suppressed on YouTube. Rumble, BitChute, Odyssey, and TikTok. Lots of people on TikTok, lots of freedom lovers, and there's, I don't know, there's thousands of accounts on TikTok that have been covering this, and a lot of them were in Ottawa. I want to introduce you to, I've done it before with somebody else on TikTok. I'm going to introduce you to Trista Sook. She's just an awesome freedom.
Okay, sorry, I'm just trying to get to the...
Hey guys, he tried to separate this bridge.
To the truckers. So I want you to hear this. This is real quick. She writes on her Facebook post, Ottawa needs our prayers. I met this lovely man on the streets of Ottawa. His name is Dennis and is a trucker from Manitoba. He wasn't feeling well, missing his family, and feeling a bit lonely. But I think the music lifted his spirits.
Is that this guy? I gotta ask, why would Pfizer sponsor a convoy? Wow.
Sing it again, together?
Where's the
report?
I don't want to get
deeply saddened to
sorry, I just don't want to get nailed for like copyright or something. Even like there's been times where like even someone singing a song that is the copyright's owned by somebody else. I don't think Amazing Grace is copied by somebody else, but
Beautiful.
just being careful.
There's sad news to report. I am deeply saddened to share the news that Dennis passed away last night, alone in a medical solitary confinement where no loved ones were allowed to be by his side. It absolutely breaks my heart that Dennis spent the last weeks of his life fighting for the very freedoms that would have allowed his family to be with him during his last moments on earth. Please keep his wife Rose and the rest of his family in your prayers. Rest in peace, Dennis Plett. Your torch will be carried on.
That's
Meanwhile,
heartbreaking.
the Prime Minister and the state-controlled media labels all these people a bunch of you-know-whats. It's heartbreaking. Here is an absolutely heartfelt message. I thought I needed to share this with you.
Watch the video. A veteran, one of our heroes, down there being jumped, beat up. Is this what he come back to this country for? Is this how we treat our veterans? You know how this hurts the heart to see how we treat our veterans? You're in the Canadian military.
The music, seriously, like, oh man, I gotta break it up. Sorry.
How long you stand by and allow these things to happen? You remember, Mr. Trudeau, there's no more to give? And to see another military member, veteran,
Don't worry about the music, okay?
with tears in his eyes. He was a medal. He was awarded a medal. He wanted to give it back. How could you stand by up there in your offices, wherever the hell?
I know the music is really
and
distracting.
allow this to happen to our veterans? How can you allow it to happen? Please, military, do something.
Okay, the music is very distracting. Great message from that guy. Sorry for grabbing that from your video. Just Incredible TV. That was in one of the super chats. But yeah, no, heartbreaking story. It just suddenly he wasn't feeling too good. And then yeah. There's been too many stories like that in the past 2 years, and this is why this movement is like so powerful and so many people are behind it. This is way too much. Play the Hiller video. Where's the Hiller video? Randy Hiller.
On Friday, February 18th,
not sure who this
for
is.
the first time in my memory, we saw the use of violence and abuse, and even the trampling of peaceful Canadian citizens by the police in Ottawa. It was a reprehensible display of authority,
yeah, no problem,
and excessive force by our police. We know now, as a result of that, there were there are 2 Special Investigations Unit investigations regarding serious injury.
Yeah, special investigations. Yeah, we've invested ourselves and found no wrongdoing, right? I mean, that's a thing. I hope there's going to be oversight on that investigation, because yeah, that's just insane.
At that peaceful protest.
And yeah, Freeland is insane.
But we don't know who
she looks like she's on meth.
They are.
I don't know what that
or the extent of their injuries.
That's about.
Or their names. I've recently come into possession of a video that I want you to watch.
Okay.
The video is from Friday the 18th in Ottawa. It is a video from TikTok of somebody videotaping a TVA, what appears to be a TVA broadcast, news broadcast of the same day. We can no longer find that video on the TVA website, and we can no longer see the video on TikTok. It has been scrubbed.
But what are we seeing here?
But we do have it in our possession. I'd like you to look at it now. It shows what appears to be a severely injured or lifeless individual being dragged by 2 police officers outside of a swarm of police and protesters in Ottawa.
Well, maybe that's what we're looking at.
One is clearly the police. It appears the other one is also a police officer who are dragging this body from the crowd.
Okay, well, maybe that's what we're looking at, but so that's not the only possibility here, right? So there were a lot of people in that crowd. So to jump to the conclusion that that's the guy who was trampled by the horse, that's a big step, because we don't even know that that's the same shot from the same area. I know that the chief said there was no injuries, and that is just absolutely false. But that doesn't mean that what we're looking at is what we think we're looking at, or what we're being told we're looking at. So I know that one way of not making it hard for the police to take protesters away is for them to just go completely limp, right? Now, that's a tactic a lot of people are using, and the police have been doing a few different ways of persuading people. One of them is dragging them off like we're seeing here, and another one is just straight up beating them up, which I don't think is lawful, but it doesn't mean that that's not what was happening at the time, because there's footage of precisely that. There was a guy right by the tower, where it was called the Tower, and it was right down in the main section. They had built a tower on in between 2 trucks, and that, I believe that's where it was from, that footage. But there was 2 police using their knees to violently strike a man that was already surrendered, that had already surrendered and gave in. So yeah, the shed, that's what it's called, the shed, not the tower. My bad. But yeah, what we're seeing in this video that's being shown here, I mean, I'm not ruling out the possibility that the guy's, limp, passed out, lifeless, what have you, but he may also just be passively resisting arrest in this scenario. So, I mean, without context, it's really hard to tell what it is that we're seeing. Keep playing it.
We don't know who this person is. We don't know the extent of the injuries, if any. And the police have been silent on this, as well as the original video being...
Well, they've been silent on everything that we have proof for.
And the news broadcast from TVA being scrubbed as well. I think the Canadian people deserve answers. Truthful
of course we
answers. Do. Accountable and open and transparent answers of what actually transpired in Ottawa during the Emergency Act. We know that our Prime Minister and our Chief of Police, the Mayor of Ottawa, and the Premier of Ontario, Doug Ford, have all described this in very, very reprehensible terms of what this protest actually was. I was there for nearly 3 weeks. In my entire time in Ottawa, I never once saw protesters engaged in aggressive, let alone violent behavior.
Yeah, we went over that.
Indeed, I would describe my time in Ottawa as a very festive, a very friendly, a very family-oriented.
From the what people are saying on the ground, like everybody said, it felt like a Canada Day celebration, like for 3 weeks straight. That's what people are saying.
Protest about public policy. The people there were demonstrating that they disagreed with the current policies of our federal and provincial governments, and they were protesting for a return to normal. At no time was Parliament Hill occupied. At no time were anybody threatened with violence that I saw. The police still have not.
Yeah, I'm gonna put this on my queue and watch the rest of it later, because I'm scrubbing through and it looks like he's just talking about it. There's no other evidence that he's putting forward here. Again, like I said, until I can verify that something indeed happens, I haven't been like avoiding certain things, but I've been avoiding jumping to any conclusions. That's one thing I've been very careful on this whole thing, because like I wanna move through this with credibility, because like the last thing I want is for say I make a statement on a story and it goes somewhere, and because of a video that I put out, a lot of attention goes onto a story, and it makes it somewhere pretty big, right? And then it makes it to the point where it reaches mainstream media and they can't ignore it anymore. What are they going to do? They're going to come to me and they're going to attack anything that they can attack. So they'll go after any story where I was wrong about something, or if I didn't get a fact right or whatever. So I've been just trying to do my due diligence as much as I can and not jump to any conclusions on any stories that I see. And I can't blame people for doing that. It's a knee-jerk reaction to see something and go, hey, that looks like that. But it isn't always the case that a thing that when you see it in one way, that it ends up being what you initially thought it looks like, because sometimes it just looks like something. So I've been trying very hard to do the due diligence and look things up. Like I was saying before, where there was that one image of the woman who survived the horse trampling, that every media outlet was sharing the same image and running the same story. I didn't want to do that. I wanted to verify that I wasn't I wasn't throwing out the same reiteration, the same stories out there. I wanted to verify it for myself, that it was true. Yeah, keep it up. Yeah, man. I'm doing what I can. I'm one guy, right? I'm one guy. And I started this all off as one guy, and you guys have actually like stepped up to the plate and given me some really, really good information. So I'm not knocking anyone down for shooting this story, because no, it's definitely worth looking into. But I would like to see more angles of that particular footage, or a little bit more of the situation surrounding it, verifying when that happened, where it was, things like that. Somebody play that piano. I love my piano. It's amazing. I love it. Yeah, Rage Against the Machine. I used to like that band, and then they rage for the machine nowadays. First Last, thanks for the super chat. Keep up the good work. Amazing. Now, thank you guys. Thank you guys for paying attention, because I mean, like I said before, I started covering this thinking nobody was gonna look, nobody's gonna even pay attention, but I was like, whatever. I'm gonna say my piece, because I feel like if I just watch it happen and don't participate somehow, I wouldn't be able to look myself in the eye later and say that I just sat back as it happened. So I really, that was my motivation. And it was kind of like, nobody's watching my channel anyway. Nobody was watching my channel. I started talking about this, and look at all you guys. It's amazing. So yeah, fuck me. I'm going to do what they tell me. That's right. That's right, noob. That's the rage for the machine. That's precisely it. So yeah, lots of stories to look into. Here's one that I found kind of interesting this week as well.
Mr. Gates, because this is, I know, a topic that you've spoken on again and again. You were ahead of the curve prior to the beginning of this pandemic. Where would you assess where we are today in beating COVID-19?
Well, sadly, the virus itself, particularly the variant called Omicron, is a type of vaccine. That is, it creates both B-cell and T-cell immunity. And it's done a better job of getting out to the world population than we have with vaccines. If you do sero surveys in African countries, you get well over 80% of people have been exposed either to the vaccine or to various variants. And so, what that does is it means the chance of severe disease, which is mainly associated with being elderly and having obesity or diabetes, those risks are now dramatically reduced because of that infection exposure. And it's sad we didn't do a great job on therapeutics. Only here 2 years in do we have a good therapeutic. Vaccines, it took us 2 years to be in oversupply. Today, there are more vaccines than there is demand for vaccines. And that wasn't true. And next time we should try and make it, instead of 2 years, we should make it more like 6 months, which certainly,
Next time, he says, next time. So the shocking part about this whole thing, and this is why I like watching Dr. John Campbell, is he points out the most interesting part. I'm a bit
confused by that. So just to mark now, why is he saying sadly to this? Why does he prefix that with sadly? If I'd been saying something similar, I would have said I'm happy that, or pleased that, or, well, in actual fact, I'm delirious, delighted, ecstatic about this, because it means that billions of people around the world are being protected from severe disease by natural immunity to the virus, particularly Omicron. And now, as we might see, we'll see how we go for time today, but particularly Omicron BA2. So a bit confused by that.
So that was the thing. So basically Omicron came out and it was showing immunity. It was showing immune properties. So you get the B cells, the T cells in your immune system to fight off and stave off the virus. And there was Bill Gates saying that sadly, the Omicron variant has been the vaccine, as epidemiologists around the world have been saying now, that Omicron is the vaccine that they couldn't create. It's actually that much better at containing severe illness from contracting the the virus than the vaccines that they have implemented and are trying to force everyone to use. So, I mean, this is, and I always have the disclaimer, I'm not a doctor, I'm a mechanic. Damn it, Jim, I'm a mechanic, not a doctor. But I follow people, you know, people come to me to have their car and truck fixed. Good job. You're coming to the expert. Where do I go? I go to Dr. John Campbell, right? He's an epidemiologist, he's a doctor. He knows his stuff. He knows what he's talking about. He's definitely a really good source of information. So I go to him. I think it's a reliable source. He judges what he's saying based on the data. I hit a couple of super chats here. Flying Duck, I think you're doing great. Thank you for all the Freedom Convoy updates. Been watching your channel for a couple weeks now. Thank you. Thank you for watching. And I'm going to keep them coming because there's not only is there the U.S. convoy, the People's Convoy that's kicking off. I'm going to be covering that because I'm loving this movement entirely. And not only that, but the convoys aren't done in Canada. If you think that Trudeau squashed it and that's the end of it, he called a state of emergency, declared a state of emergency, and then rescinded it before it got rejected. It was a political move. Actually, I'm going to get back to a point, and I'm going to pop up this article because a lot of people don't watch your videos to the end, and there's a very, very informative, important part of this article that I really wanted to stress that I don't hear a lot of people talking about, and I think should be out there more, and more people need to know about this. I'm going to get to a couple more super chats here. Derek saying, that's one of the things I'm enjoying about your channel. You make sure it's real before you plaster it all over the place. Yeah, I don't want to just jump out there and be the first on a story and that kind of thing. I'd rather be right on a story a day or two late and at least be right about the story and not have to come back and apologize, which I have no problem with doing. If I'm wrong about something, point it out to me. I'll set the record straight. Mark says, I'm in Hawaii, born in Canada. Thank you. Thank you. And I'm jealous because the weather in Hawaii, I'm sure, is a lot better right about now. Jeez. Of course, I am in the warmest place in Canada. I live on the West Coast, and it's I grew up on Terrible, and the weather is it's on Terrible. So that's the thing. Let's get to this article. So this is what I wanted to talk about. So this was the article talking about facing financial peril and pending Senate rebuke. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau revokes emergency war measures. I actually had an email the other day about my ability to read out things. What people don't, I guess a bunch of people don't know. I'm a dyslexic person. I have dyslexia, right? So it's like really hard for me to do this sometimes. So if I muck up reading stuff, bear with me. I'm doing my best. I do what I can. But yeah, it's definitely tough sometimes. So, and that's why a lot of times I'll highlight stuff because it makes it a little bit easier for me when I'm trying to read this out to you guys. Because nothing like the news media flubbing this whole story or their whole job entirely, their whole career, and leaving it up to a dyslexic mechanic to read to people to have them informed on what's actually going on. So yeah, after his prepared remarks about the reversal in position, Trudeau was softly questioned about internal documents discovered by the Canadian Senate that point towards Trudeau's cabinet discussing the political benefits they would gain by invoking the Emergencies Act. That is a lot more damning than him revoking it because he thought the Senate was gonna turn it down. That is a lot more damning. I'll repeat that again. Trudeau is questioned about internal documents discovered by the Canadian Senate that point towards Trudeau's cabinet discussing the political benefits they would gain by invoking the Emergencies Act. Meaning, before he had actually invoked it, there was a correspondence that was back and forth with members of his cabinet talking about how it would politically benefit them by invoking and suspending the Charter of Rights and Freedoms for a political move. That is a lot worse than just being shut down. So I think, I love your sense of humor, Clyde. I'm being serious about this one right now. I think that is a lot more damning than just the fact that the Senate could have shut it down and not voted for it. So this is one I'm particularly paying attention to, because immediately the media stopped talking about it, and then the next day the Ukraine situation happened, and of course, yeah, we're not talking about it now. That's what's going on. So I'm gonna hang on to that story because that one's pretty damn explosive, and I'm sure they don't want that story to come out. But yeah, that's just me. I thought that was pretty damning of the Trudeau cabinet themselves. I mean, everything that they've done has been pretty damning in my opinion, because like from day one when they got in there, they got in there with that divisive language of woke politics, and I'm glad people are just becoming absolutely fed up with wokeness, and I like the idea of awake not woke, like that's going around so much. There was that one lady at the protest who says, I used to be woke, now I'm awake. That is great. That was great. So people are done with it. People are pretty disgusted with it. Trudeau came in what was it, 2015, and he was announcing who his cabinet members were, and they asked him, why do you have so many women on your cabinet or something like that? And he says, because it's 2015. And then he ends up firing one because she didn't want to cancel a prosecution of a SNC Lavalin. Look up that story. I mean, I could go on for hours again about the corruption in our government. It's just absolutely terrible. And now we're looking at Ukraine and throwing judgment at the situation over there. We should definitely be looking at what's going on in our own country. Not that's not something that's serious and going on out there, but geez, man, we definitely got to be paying attention to what's happening here, because what's happening here is leading to corruption in other places, and if we clean it up here, then maybe we don't have to fight stuff over there. Maybe that's a good way of looking at it. Why not take care of the problem at the source? That's maybe I'm wrong on that, but that's my opinion at the moment. Hey Clyde, do you have a religion? I'm not a religious guy. No, I was raised Christian. I look at it like, well, I'll just carry on that tradition, I guess. I don't like attend church or anything like that, but I'm not atheist. Like I don't like the whole like anti-religious aspect people have. That's not me. I think there's a lot to benefit people in spirituality, so that's it's an amazing thing that people have for themselves. Take care of your own first. Yeah, I'm definitely down with that. You're the man, Clyde. Do you plan on going to any of these protests? Well, if there's any that I can get to, so there was the ones down in Surrey, and I didn't make it down to those. A lot of the time, like I'm doing what I can to support the protest by putting these videos out, and then I got 2 kids and a beautiful wife, and you know, it's hard when I'm working full time and then also doing this kind of full time. So when the days off come, I do spend my time with my kids, but maybe I could take them down to one. That would be an experience. That would be definitely an experience, for sure. Clyde, stay where you're at. You're making a difference doing this. That's kind of what I thought. So I was thinking, like, if I was to travel out really far, I wouldn't be able to make as many videos and stuff, getting the word out. Give him more than a paycheck. I don't know who. Poor Canadian soldiers having to gear up and watch their veterans get. Yeah, that's terrible. Yeah, that's absolutely terrible. We need to see more police when they're given unlawful orders, just, you know, walking away. I'd like to see that more often. But yeah, that's the case. I think that's about all I've got for you guys tonight. I'm liking this format of do the videos throughout the week, and then Friday nights tune in to have a live stream with you guys, catch up on a bunch of stuff, have a laugh. Man, we had a couple of good laughs. I think the joke of the night was don't get schwabbed. You never know where that thing's been. So we're gonna stick with that one. That one is definitely the one for the road. But yeah, you guys keep up everything that you're doing. Like, you guys have been sending me such great information, putting it out there, helping me out a ton in bringing this information to as many people as I can. And I'm looking forward. I'm really looking forward to seeing what goes on with the convoys reactivating. If it's going to come back in a different way, it might get creative. It might really get in China. They schwab your ass. Oh my God, this is a funny meme. This one is not going away. I don't think so. So I'm gonna call it on that note. We'll see how it goes. We'll be back as soon as we can with more videos for you. We'll see you again for another live stream again next Friday. Don't forget, same time. It's going to be 6:30 Pacific time. So that's what, 9:30 Eastern time. So thanks for tuning in tonight, and yeah, keep on trucking.